only as well, the opposition MLAs turned up dressed in black as a mark of protest and created ruckus over the issue by storming the well, trying to, in fact, upturn furniture and also jostling with the marshals. It also remains to be seen if any work will be done. With that, let's shift our attention now to the dramatic twist of Jagdeep Dhankhar's exit as the vice president, which has exposed the opposition's duplicity. They have suddenly discovered newfound admiration for the former vice president Jagdeep Dhankhar. Yes, the same man who they once branded as the Rajya Sabha's biggest disruptor. The man that they accused of gagging dissent and also playing the government loudspeaker. Just 7 months ago, remember, the opposition had tabled an impeachment motion alleging that he had dragged the dignity of the chair through the mud. Today, they call him the Kisan Putra, a chairman who was fair, who called out both sides and has now even been bullied out, wronged and humiliated. The SP chief has in fact even questioned why he has not been accorded a farewell.
स्वास्थ्य ही कारण है तो बीजेपी के लोगों को उनका स्वास्थ्य के बारे में चिंता करनी चाहिए, हालचाल लेना चाहिए और अगर उन्होंने स्वास्थ्य को लेकर के रिजाइन किया है तो उनके पूरा सम्मान और अगर फेयरवेल की दावत और जो फेयरवेल का एक ट्रेडिशन होता है कम से कम सरकार को वो उनके लिए करना चाहिए। अगर बीजेपी के लोग हालचाल नहीं पूछने जा रहे हैं, फेयरवेल नहीं हो रहा है तो कहीं ना कहीं दाल में कुछ काला है।
So now let's come to the question that is on everyone's mind on what actually explains the exit. So the Congress party has spoken about how there has been no farewell. There are several opposition leaders who are raising these questions and are saying that there was no farewell for Dhankhar, saying something is amiss. While he officially cited health reasons, the opposition continuing to say there's more to it. And in fact, the opposition, which until just a few months ago had even moved an impeachment motion against him, is now saying that this is a farmer's son who is now being insulted by the government.
वो संसदीय ज्ञान के धनी थे और कृषक आंदोलन और किसानों की आवाज उठाने वाले थे।
देखिए, कुछ तो राज है जिसकी पर्दादारी है, वरना ये बात समझ में नहीं आती कि कल सारा दिन काम करा, पूरा शेड्यूल लगा हुआ है, आप अचानक इतना ज्यादा आहत हुए कि आपको इस्तीफा तक देना पड़ा। तो ये बात तो जानने का अधिकार देश को है कि क्या बात हुई, क्या कारण है कि उपराष्ट्रपति जैसे महान व्यक्ति को भी इस्तीफा देने का पड़ सकता है।
हमारे उनसे मतभेद हो सकते हैं, लेकिन मैं उनको जो देखता हूँ वो सहजता से मैदान छोड़ने वाले व्यक्ति नहीं है, वो लड़ने वाले आदमी है।
So what about the timing of Dhankhar's exit that many of the opposition are talking about? Why did he decide to exit now? Did things go wrong? What actually happened? What was the trigger? Were there long simmering issues? Because there have been several instances in the past as well where outspoken Dhankhar was seen as crossing the line. Among the latest was the 2024 farmers' protest as well, where he directly questioned the Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan and his policies at a public forum. In fact, Dhankhar, who prides himself of being a farmer's son, had also said that the policy making was not on the right track and called on the Modi government to initiate immediate discussions and also said that a serious issue was being taken lightly. As recently as last month as well, Dhankhar in fact took it upon himself to advise the Indian Council of Agricultural Research to revise the current 6,000 rupee payment under the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme. So these are some of the issues that he has spoken about. So what has really been the last straw? That is a big question. We tell you why we have not seen something so far. Let's tell you what you may not have seen or heard so far. The minute by minute on what happened behind the scenes that culminated on social media as well in a post that was put out at 9:25 p.m. So let's begin and take a look at what actually happened. All of it playing out on social media. At 12:30 p.m. is when VP had attended the BAC meeting. So this, remember, is on day one of the monsoon session. What actually happened? Because the opposition is also saying it seemed like everything was fine. Within just a few hours, everything seemed to have changed suddenly. So at 12:30 p.m., the Vice President had attended the meeting of the Business Advisory Committee, and then the panel decided to meet again at 4:30 p.m. Now, this timing is very, very crucial. Remember, 12:30 to 4:30, because the opposition says that here is when everything seemed to have changed suddenly. At 2 p.m., Dhankhar had accepted the opposition-backed motion of impeachment against Justice Verma. And then at 4:07 p.m., Vice President informed the House that the opposition-backed motion has been accepted. So, is this the last straw? Is this what led to his resignation? That's the question, because the Vice President had accepted the impeachment motion that was given by the opposition, taking the government by surprise. And by 4:30 p.m., it all seemed to have changed completely, because the Business Advisory Committee had met again, but there was no representation from the government. In fact, JP Nadda as well as Kiran Rijiju were not part of this meeting. And then it had to be deferred. Remember this time, because I'll tell you why no one from the government was present as well, which is finally at 9:25 p.m., Dhankhar announces his resignation through the Vice President's handle on X, and he puts out a letter which goes on to say that because of health reasons, he has decided to resign. So a lot of questions still remain. And today as well, remember, the opposition parties are likely to raise questions on that. We're keeping a track of that. But